everyone. It is Erica Kirk here with the Southwestern Illinois Board of Realtors. And today I am joined with Kris Rosser Schmitt. SIBR hosted our celebration of SIBR Awards at the Gateway Convention Center on April 12th. Gosh, that seems like forever ago. But we are now finally conducting some interviews with our award winners, and so that we can get to know them just a little bit better and learn more about our awards program. So the Realtor of the Year is the highest honor an association can bestow on a member. This year, it was awarded to two special realtors, Kris and Karen Sheasley. And I am able to have a little bit of an interview now with Kris, and congratulations so much for winning that award.
Thank you very much. It was an honor.
Yeah, so I guess first question for you would be, please share just a little bit about yourself and how long you've been in the real estate industry and how did you get interested in the real estate world?
So I was born and raised in Southern Texas. So most folks realize I'm not from here, given my accent. That's okay. I moved up here in 1998, and shortly thereafter, in 2001, got my real estate license. I had a girlfriend in the business and said, "You would be perfect for this." And I said, "Okay, what do we do?" So it took me several tries to pass that exam. That's right when we were transitioning from the paper exam to the actual online exam. So that was interesting. So did that in 2001. Then I went back to school actually and got my accounting degree. Audited the Army for a couple of years, and back in 2011 came back full time. So, and then in 2018, I decided to open up KRS Realty. So I jumped into the life of the insane, and it's been amazing ever since.
Oh, wow. It's so fun to hear everyone's story because everyone has, their own reasons of how they got into it. And it's just, the history behind everyone is so special. So it's very cool. So let's talk a little bit about the night of the event. So did you know that you were going to be awarded? And I guess, how did you feel once you kind of found out as they were telling, the story?
Well, we're used to having one Realtor of the Year. So, and with this being a merger year, there was a ton of people that are obviously deserve this award. So first of all, it was shock when Mark started reading my bio, and I'm going, "Wait, what? Hold on." And then Barb started reading Karen's bio. I was like, "Oh, wait." So then my auditor brain goes, "Now, how did they pull that off?" As I'm ugly crying at the table. And so then Karen and I, we were just shocked, and neither one of us thought that, maybe we both thought the other one was going to get it, because we only have one. And so whenever you guys pulled off two, that was like, I'm so glad, because that was so cool, because Karen deserved it, and I watched her interview. She's like, "Kris deserves it." I'm like, I'm just so grateful that we both got to share it together. And then when we got on stage, that's when the ugly crying commenced big time, because you all lied to me for a week and got my parents to fly into town from Texas. Number one, they don't fly. Number two, my mother doesn't wear a dress and my dad doesn't dress up. And I looked up, like, I think I actually threw the award down on the table and it bounced and took off running, because I only get to see my parents a couple times a year because they're still down in Texas. So I think everybody that was in cahoots was happy that it was over, because then now we could take a big deep breath and everybody could stop hiding. There were many stories afterwards that I cracked up laughing, and now I know, I'm like, no wonder why you guys have been weird for a week. So it was pretty awesome. So thank you very much for that surprise. That was huge.
Yeah, well, as I said, I guess when I interviewed Karen, it is one of my all-time favorites of, getting to kind of like secretly bring in family, and just it's so much fun. But I was like, oh no, I'm gonna spill the beans. I got to be careful here. So it
Yeah.
was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I guess the next question I have for you. So the criteria for the Realtor of the Year award is someone who follows the code of ethics, is active in the community, and leads by example by, being on committees locally and at the state level. So can you tell us a little bit more about your involvement in GGR, SIBR, NAR, and IR, and why others should get involved, do you think?
Oh my goodness. I think, well, I got involved whenever our GGIR's prior CEO, Kyle Anderson, took me to lunch, and I was like, okay, here we go. What are we going to do? And he asked me, he goes, will you please apply to be on the board of directors? And I was like, I really, not sure, haven't done much. And I am so grateful he took me out to lunch that day and asked me, because it started the ball rolling to so many things I had no idea what realtors did. I was just your run of the mill member and didn't understand, the reason why you are a part of an organization is because you need lock boxes and you need Maris access. And that's it. But that started the ball rolling to figuring out, wait a minute, our associations do a ton more than just giving you access. So then I got to the point to where I heard about this major investor stuff, and then that just grew into more things and wanting to be a part of more of this organization, which not only helped me understand what it was my role was as a realtor, but it helped me build my business at the same time, because I started to get contacts outside of our small little area. And now I've got a network across the nation. Mm-hmm. Some of the work that I've done at the state level is I was on the audit committee for several years. I got to be on the nominating committee. That was a blast. Wow. Been on a couple other additional committees. At the national level, I was able to work on the business issues committee. That was amazing to hear across the nation what people are dealing with. And what was cool to figure out is, if you get the East Coast and the West Coast get it, then about 6 months later, we get it. So talk about a leg up whenever you already know what's going on the East and the West Coast. You got 6 months to figure it out. So really getting involved has helped me be a better realtor. Transitioning into being a broker owner has helped me be a better designated managing broker, because my agents can come to me and say, hey, Kris, have you heard? I'm like, yeah, it was in this and that and the other, or go check your magazine. There's an article, or here, let me give you the link. And so getting involved made me realize that association and above at all levels is way more than just a lockbox and a Maris login.
Yeah. And I think you're putting that completely 100% accurate. So many people join the association and just have no idea. So, that reference of, us just being the lock boxes and stuff is so true. And I love being able to help guide people as they, become leaders and stuff, and learn more about what we can do to help support the businesses. So
absolutely.
Yeah. So I guess another question that I have is, so you will be inducted into the RPEC Hall of Fame at next year's NARDC meetings for reaching the $25,000 investment level. Congratulations. That's huge. So SIBR is gearing up for our RPEC auction on October 19th. So for members that don't understand the value of RPEC, can you share why you find this to be an essential part of your business?
Oh, absolutely. Too easy. Every time there's something going on locally that involves property rights, which you really don't understand all the legislation that comes through that indirectly or directly affects ownership. And we're not just talking homes, we're talking commercial land, all of it. And to be able to invest in the individuals at the state, local, and national level to help them combat legislation that will hurt our real property rights is huge, because sometimes RPAC gets the bad rap as like, oh, we're not, they're a political organization. We don't talk about politics, especially in this day and age. We don't talk about politics. RPAC is bipartisan, and we do not participate in the presidential election. So it's state and down. So we're really focusing on the biggest focus I've seen in our area, and Ron does a great job about this, is making sure that our municipalities aren't doing things that will hinder our clients' ability to own property. And I mean, and it just runs the gamut. You know, you can, if you look in your, I know, read your realtor, your Illinois Realtor magazine, there's a section in there all the time about what they're combating, not only at the local level, but at the state level as well. So that $1,000 that I give, I give more than 1,000 because obviously if I'm giving them a 25 grand, so it's awesome because you don't get into this to be, recognized at that level, but when you become so passionate about it because you understand what they're doing for us, it's easy to write that check every year because they just make sure and they keep their finger on that pulse to make sure that we're protected. So giving that $1,000 a year to be a major investor is amazing. You don't have to do $1,000 a year. You can do your fair share. It's on your bill. Just don't uncheck that box and you can give your fair share. And it helps the association as well to be recognized for our commitment to our PAC. So no, it's not. You don't have to do 1,000 and it's bipartisan. So we usually splits, like if you look at the criteria across the state and the nation, it's usually like 49-51 depending on the year.
Yeah.
No,
and that's so also people don't understand that. And I think that, you know, coming from you, I love that, you know, you're sharing that information. And I think, you know, for those, I'm making my big push with come to the RPEC auction and we will help you know, you guys understand that don't quite understand what your investment goes to, because it's all about learning and understanding of what and how it works out. And, you know, those private property rights that come down and, you know, try to make these big changes that impact the industry, and, you know, having somebody advocating is so important. So
right. Well, the other thing that's cool too is supporting our candidates locally. We have several candidates that we're supporting right now, even SIBR supporting. Actual realtors running for office, like that's huge because now we have a true voice sitting in front of everybody else going, hey, wait a minute, I am a realtor. Let me tell you how this is going to affect us, period. So it's just, there's, like I said, when I got involved, I had no idea what we did. And boy, gosh, do we do a lot.
Yes, so true. So now for a fun question. So you, at the award celebration, they had that you were president of the Collinsville Chamber of Commerce, and you chaired the Horseradish Festival committee. So I looked that up this morning and found out that Collinsville is the capital of horseradish, and I had no idea. So that was fun to find out. So you must really like it. So what do you pair with your horseradish, and do you have like a special recipe that you use or anything along that lines?
Well, I have grown to love horseradish. So if you don't know, everybody out there, Collinsville grows 60% of the world's horseradish. So there are a couple farmers that have been in the area forever. They are amazing people. You ever get to go to the Horseradish Festival, make sure you go to their booth and talk to the actual farmers because they man that booth. And I'm glad you sent me the questions because I brought props. So this is my favorite mustard. This is all the J. Kelly stuff. This is, now I don't have a favorite recipe, but this is my favorite sauce in the whole wide world. It's horseradish sauce. Some people call it horsey sauce or whatever. What do you put it on? Everything. You put it on everything. And then my favorite is this has to be refrigerated, so it might look a little funky because I had to take it out of the refrigerator. This is actual prepared horseradish. So they literally take the root, grind it up, and shove it in a jar. And then I put this in everything. Like I didn't have a cocktail sauce because I already ate it all. So I've grown to love horseradish, and now if you try to take my horsey sauce away from me, things might have to go down. So there's a constant supply of this stuff in my house.
Well, I love it. I love it. And that's why I was like, gosh, I learned something new every day. And how cool is it that we have the horseradish capital in our backyard? So that's really neat. So last final question. So just about a year ago, the merger talk started. We are now the Southwestern Illinois Board of Realtors. So as you reflect over that last year, can you please share what was there a time and about your time and commitment, and one thing that you are most excited about with SIBR moving forward?
So yeah, it was a lot of work. It was 100% worth it. It was so wonderful to sit there that day at the Gateway Center and watch the sheer numbers of people that came in and voted, because it was an in-person vote. We didn't do anything else but in person. And to watch the people come in and just say thank you to the committee and to our leadership on both sides. It was needed, and it not only was it needed, it was wanted. And I think that's probably why it passed this time, is because it was wanted on both sides. And I can tell you from sitting on the board of directors, it's been fantastic the last 6 months. And Erica can vouch for it because she's the one doing all the dirty work behind the scenes as the CEO. It's been a lot. We had two organizations that were very, very different in the way that they ran their offices, in the way that they did their financials, and in the way that they supported their membership. So we had to make sure that we came up with an idea and a scheme to make sure that our members still know we still love them. And yes, things are going to change, but we're still here for you as the organization, as your volunteer leadership, as your staff. And I think, I know you, Erica, and staff have done an amazing job with that. And that transitions into what's cool, because I think moving forward, once we get past like the administrative stuff of getting this ball rolling, this is going to be such a well-oiled machine. We're going to have such an amazing voice down south, which then I challenge everybody that's watching this to, if you aren't already involved, get involved so we can have a bigger voice that we said we would whenever the time comes. So you got your newsletter, and it's got your new slate of board of director nominees. So please vote, and then please consider next year, because we transition directors off all the time. Please consider next year applying. Or when you get your email that either talks about national, state, or local committees, think about it. Just think about it, because not only is it going to make you understand what we really do as an organization, it is going to help your business, because you're going to learn a lot how people do things. And the people that I've been involved with over the years love to share ideas and technology, and I'm a better realtor for it.
Yeah. Well, that is so true. And, I'm having so much fun. Gosh, what am I, 7 months in now, I think. So loving every minute of it, and tons of work. Yes, definitely working a lot, but I know once we're, if even a few more months down the line, everything's going to be where it needs to be. And, it's a well-oiled machine, like you had referred to. I love that. So, it's really exciting. So, So I guess, as we close, congratulations, I well-deserved winning the Realtor of the Year award, and that you get to have the honor and pick for next year. So that's really, or help guide, for next year. So I can't wait for that. And I get to, secretly disguise or bring in other people. So that's always fun. So but that's all I have. And I guess I have a great rest of your day, and thanks for your time today.
All right. Thank you very much.
Yeah.